يحيى بن محمد أبو ضغاية رئيس الدراسات بمركز محمد بن زايد مالك للمواصعة، متخصص في مجال برامج إعادة التأهيل والتدريب ومكافحة التطرف، وهو حاصل على شهادة الدكتوراه في التحليل الاستراتيجي من جامعة الملك سعود بالرياض. الشخصية الرابعة والمتحدث الرابع هو الأستاذ الدكتور مقصود كروم، المدير التنفيذي لمركز الهداية الدولي للتميز في مكافحة التطرف العنيف، وهو مدير المركز منذ تأسيسه في شهر ديسمبر 2012، ورئيس إيجار سابق لقسم التخطيط في شركة جلوبال ايروسبيس لوجيستكس التابعة لمجموعة الإمارات للاستثمارات المتكاملة، وهو حاصل على الدراسات العليا في علم النفس التنظيمي من جامعة ميلبورن في استراليا. فنبدأ اليوم جلستنا مع الأستاذ الشيخ الدكتور محمد طاهر-القادري، وهو يتحدث عن المنهجية الإسلامية المبتكرة في مكافحة التطرف والتي نشرها سنة 2017 وأعلن عنها في مقر برلمان الإخوان، ومكافحة التطرف والإرهاب من خلال البرامج التعليمية والتدريسية والجهود مؤسسة دقيقة إن شاء الله، وأرجو أن نتجمع في الوقت الجميع المتحدثين إن شاء الله.
السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Respectable President of this session, honorable guests, scholars and representatives of the Muslim world. First of all, after thanking Almighty Allah, I would like to congratulate OIC جامعة نائب العربية للعلوم العلمية المركز صوت الخدمة on organizing this international conference on the subject of promoting the peace and countering extremist and terrorist ideologies and their activities. At this moment, I think the Honorable King Salman bin Abdulaziz and the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and the government of Saudi Arabia and all governments of the Muslim world deserve congratulations that they have rightly concentrated and focused on this particular subject that is the need of our time. Terrorism or violent extremism is a serious global problem, not only causing much death and sufferings, also destabilizing the societies, and it is disrupting the peaceful coexistence in the whole world. Before tackling the violent extremism, one must be able to first understand the underlying reasons, and one must, and their motives that give birth to the mindset of the terrorists. The slide which you must be watching here, they just reflect activities of MINHAJ Quran International on this subject, or some of my humble efforts all over the world. These are not directly connected by words. Up till yesterday, I had something different in my mind to talk about. After attending the session, I changed my mind, and these slides and this talk I have prepared this evening. So these are not together connected. You can just watch some of the glimpse, whatever is happening through the efforts of MQI, MINHAJ Quran International. So we must understand what are the reasons, what are the concerns which give birth to a specific mindset of terrorism. To me, without such an understanding, all attempts to tackle the problem would be futile. One can sum up the causes related for terrorism. Some causes are related to ideological factors, whereas some are related to accessibility factors. The accessibility factors which generate and develop the mindset of terrorists and violent extremists, these are like holding political grievances, feelings of isolation from society, feeling marginalized, and along with criminal and personality traits and socio-economic reasons, all these accessibility factors, putting them together, we have to keep in our mind, however, without an ideological motivation, these accessibility factors alone can never manifest as terrorism. This is definitely a combination of two factors, two kinds of factors. As far as the accessibility factors are concerned, these are to be addressed by the states, by the governments, by the societies, their social, legal, and political structures. And as far as the ideological aspects are concerned, these are to be addressed by the scholars, by the researchers, by institutions, through training, through education, in order to counter the ideological and theological drivers of terrorism. There are a number of ideological factors and themes and concerns and narratives promoted by the terrorists to recruit the members from the youth and from common masses to their cause in order to justify, legalize, and legitimate their barbarism, their acts of violence, and their acts of terrorism, acts of rebellion and terrorism. Out of some of these ideological factors are the concept of jihad, concept of Tahir-ul-Islam and Tahir-ul-Qadri, and wrong application of these terms on Muslim and non-Muslim lands. Then concept of Khilafah, that it is mandatory on the Muslim youth and Muslim people to fight for establishing a Khalifa globally or regionally. Then the concept that we are having a responsibility to safeguard the rights of the Muslim Ummah against the global powers who are conceived or perceived to be the aggressors. Then again, the concern that enforcement of Sharia order on the Muslim countries is our responsibility. So they fight for that. And again, fighting against the impious Muslim governments because of their faults or defaults, and for the enforcement of Islamic, social and political and legal order. So this is the next factor. So my humble submission would be that countering terrorism, violent terrorism and extremism, and it is necessary. It is necessary, but it is more effective to prevent it at the level of its origin and emergence. Violent extremism and terrorism does not come into existence all of a sudden. It does not emerge out of nothing. It does not appear in a vacuum. It develops through stages and takes a long time till it is converted in a proper terrorist mindset. And then, after having that mindset, somebody is able to hold the arms in his hand and start killing of innocent mankind. This mindset starts from narrow-mindedness. This is the first stage. Narrow-mindedness in understanding the Islamic concepts, in appreciating Islamic injunctions, in wrongly appreciating its implication and application, is narrow-mindedness. If this narrow-mindedness of the first stage is not properly addressed, and this is to be addressed through education, here education gets directly relevant, indispensably relevant at this stage. Through training, through education, through spreading awareness, we can only de-radicalize the minds, or we can only stop the youth from being de-radicalized. Through inculcating the concepts of Islam in their minds, and the concepts of Islam which are needed to be inculcated in their minds at this stage are the concepts of openness, tawassut, inclusiveness, flexibility, accommodation, inclusiveness, interfaith and inter-school dialogue and harmony, and by rebuttal of the attitude of expulsion, takfir. Everybody who does not agree to me is a kafir. He is to be expelled from the ambit of Islam. So this attitude is to be corrected. This way of thinking is to be stopped at this level, but not in a hard way, by inculcating the Islamic, educational, intellectual, philosophical, legal, juristical, and theological expansive ideas and inculcating them into their minds and understanding. If these thoughts are not addressed at this stage, then these thoughts lead them towards extremism. This is the place where extremism emerges as a process. And this extremism leads the people, if not addressed and stopped, at a proper time. I am emphasizing on the proper time, not addressed, then finally it leads to terrorism, violent extremism. States, most of the states in society have been and are tackling it at its last stage. As it happened in Pakistan, as it happened in many parts of the country, Afghanistan, the Arab world, no need to mention many names. As we, as the Muslim Ummah, as the states, have been tackling it at the last stage through counter-terrorism, So this is too late. At this stage, one can only prevent some people from committing the acts of killing. But it is very difficult to change their mindset and to change their vision. The extremist vision which took a long time in their life to develop keeps on the same track. Even through counter-terrorism activities, we suppress them, but they will play a game of hide and seek. They can disappear for a time and they will reappear at another time. They will change their location and they will again reappear from another place. They will again reconsolidate, and according to the favorable socio-economic circumstances, whenever they emerge, so they will keep on appearing and reappearing, emerging and reappearing. This is the phenomenon which Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mentioned at many times, quoted by Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal and many other Aimma. No need to mention the details. All these details I have mentioned in my books. Jihad, I brought for the honorable participants of the OIC. Jihad, perception and reality. The second book is on rebellion and terrorism. And the third is on Khilafah. And the fourth is on the Islam, on the security of the non-Muslims. And of course the fatwa, Irhab, the Fitnatul-Khawarij in Arabic. I brought some of the copies for honorable participants, maybe you could get to look at it. Holy Prophet said, كُلَّمَا خَرَجَ مِنْهُمْ قَرْنٌ قُطِعَ. كُلَّمَا خَرَجَ مِنْهُمْ قَرْنٌ قُطِعَ. He was mentioning the Kharijite ideology and process of appearing and reappearing, process of emerging and re-emerging from time to time, from place to place. He said, كُلَّمَا خَرَجَ مِنْهُمْ قَرْنٌ قُطِعَ حَتَّى أَدَّهَا زِيَادَةً عَلَى 10 مرات. كُلَّمَا خَرَجَ مِنْهُمْ قَرْنٌ قُطِعَ حَتَّى يَخْرُجُ الدَّجَّالُ فِي بَقِيَّتِهِ. Abdullah bin Amr bin al-As reported it. And in second tradition of Holy Prophet said, كُلَّمَا خَرَجَ قَرْنٌ قُطِعَ أَكْثَرَ مِنْ 20 مرة حَتَّى يَخْرُجَ فِي إِرَادِهِمْ الدَّجَّالُ. Every time a generation of the terrorists, the Kharijites, appear, they will be cut down. Again they will appear, they will be cut down. They will appear it again, they will keep on emerging and re-emerging from time to time. Holy Prophet ﷺ mentioned it for 20 times. They will be cut down, but they will keep on process of reappearing and re-emerging till Antichrist will appear. So this will be the process of that mindset. Instead of our younger generation reach this level, they should be addressed in a very nice educational way at the original or the basic level. What we need is prevention at the first level when the seeds are being sown in the mind of the youth. And this work can be done through an extensive and all-comprehensive process of educating and training. What we are doing as very, very humble, tiny and small, we have done the efforts towards saving the mankind, towards saving the Muslim generation, towards saving the Muslim Ummah, ideologically, philosophically, theologically, at this specific front. As MINHAJ International, we can't address the accessibility factors. We are addressing as MINHAJ International the ideological factors, the ideological and theological and wrong juristic drivers which convert their minds into a terrorist and provide them arms to fight with, and lead them to a state of becoming a Kharijite of our time. This is what Allama ibn Taymiyyah has stated. This is what Hafiz ibn Hajar Asqalani has stated. This is what Shahrastani has stated. I have mentioned hundreds of these references in my book, Fitnatul-Khawarij, Al-Irhab wa Fitnatul-Khawarij, and the Fatwa on Terrorism. MINHAJ Quran organization, which I started as a humble work in 1981, now is working in more than 90 countries all over the world. There are dozens of aspects of its work, dozens. But today I am focusing on only one with reference to the subject, and that is the efforts on peace, promotion of peace, and counter-terrorism. Just on peace and counter-terrorism.
We have just 2 minutes.
Only 2 minutes? So I go quickly. One program is on children, on the name of Eagle Star Seekers all over the world. MINHAJ Quran Women League are taking care of all these peace and counter-terror activities to create a peaceful generation. Second work is Al-Hidayah for the youth, from teenagers. 3 days camps in universities, where participants start from 500 to 2,000 residential camps. They are de-radicalized or provided a mindset of the balance of moderation. Third are regular camps. Fourth for the common people, where 12,000 to 14,000 people, the younger people in England, Europe, America, they participate and give the message of peace and counter-terrorism. Fourth is PEP, Peace Education Program. Specific curriculum for students and youth, for teachers and preachers from distant sectors of the society. Then established the MINHAJ colleges and schools, 700 institutions, emphasizing on promotion of education on peace and counter-terrorism. In the university offering the master's, MPhil, PhD on peace and counter-terrorism. Then our MINHAJ Institute of Manchester and MINHAJ Institute of Peace in Britain, doing process of de-radicalizing the youth, the interfaith conferences, the MINHAJ publication, at least 50 publications from my authorship on just peace and counter-terrorism. Then specialist classes of Quran, dealing with the verses of jihad, of the Kitab, of Surah Tawbah, of Surah Anfal. Then specialist programs on the Hadith Seerah, as Muhammad the Peacemaker, as Muhammad the Merciful, as Muhammad Peace, Islam, Peace and Compassion, on human rights, rights of Muslims and non-Muslims, security of non-Muslims, all these things. Then specialist Seerah program, dealing with the warfare of Holy Prophet, 10 years Medina period, Holy Prophet strategy of war, preemptive strategy, protective strategy, repulsive strategy, retributive strategy, addressing all those allegations and criticisms which are done by the critics on the Seerah of Holy Prophet and which are wrongly inferred by the extremists and start jihad. We address those aspects. The special contemporary issues of integration, citizenship, religious pluralism, peaceful coexistence, cohesion, all these subjects, poverty alleviation. So we are trying to work by establishing the institutions, the schools, the colleges, the universities, the publications, the workshops, and the seminars, and classes, the interfaith visits, in order to inculcate a vision of broader vision of Islam, which may provide the mind based on moderation, on peace, on kindness, on love, on non-violence, on interfaith and intra-faith, so that they may know that Islam is not for the Muslim, it is for the whole of mankind. And Prophet Muhammad was not raised only for the Arab, only for the Muslim non-Arab. No, Prophet Muhammad was raised for the whole of mankind in order to provide them with mercy, with kindness, with moderation, with modernity, and with love and with peace. So this is the main character, face of Islam, and these values should be promoted right from the beginning till the end, individually, collectively, institutionally, and internationally. Thank you very much.
الأستاذ الشيخ طاهر القادري تحدث مركزا على أهمية أشار إلى دراسة مفهوم الجهاد ودراسة مفهوم الإسلام ودار الكفر ومفهوم الخلافة والتكفير وهذه الأشياء، وقال أن الخوارج ظهروا وسيظهرون إلى يوم القيامة مرات ومرات، فكما أشار إليه الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم. فإذا لم نستطيع أن نغير عقليات الشباب، إذا لا نستطيع أن ندرس مفهوم التسامح والتعايش في نفوس المسلمين، فلا يمكن لنا أن نكافح هذه الظاهرة المرضية بالوسائل الأمنية والوسائل العسكرية والوسائل السياسية. فهو في كلمته ركز على الجانب الإيديولوجي، على الجانب الفكري، على الجذور الفكرية لهذا المرض، وهو له دور كبير في سلب أخذ المشروعية الدينية من هذه الجماعات، خصوصا في شبه القارة الهندية وفي الدول الغربية وفي أوروبا وفي كندا، وجزاه الله خيرا. المتحدث الثاني اليوم هو الأستاذ مقصود كرول، المدير التنفيذي لمركز هداية الدولي للتميز في مكافحة التطرف العنيف. وهو اليوم سيتحدث عن جهود مركز هداية لمكافحة التطرف العنيف من خلال التعليم وعن الدراسات والبحوث التي أنجزها المركز في هذا المجال، وكذا مذاكرة المنظمة للوقاية من التطرف من خلال التعليم، وكما قيل الوقاية خير من العلاج. فليتحدث وليبدأ، يتفضل الأستاذ مقصود.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بداية وقبل كل شيء فلتسمح لي أصحاب المعارف الفضيلة والسعادة بالتقدم بالشكر الجزيل لوزارة التعاون الإسلامي وجامعة نايف العربية للعلوم الأمنية على إتاحة الفرصة لتقديم هذا المؤتمر المهم في هذا التوقيت بالضرورة. ولكن قبل أن نبدأ بالجانب والجزء العلمي والفني من هذه المكافحة، فإنني أود أن أخذكم معي في رحلة تعود إلى تقريبا 50 عاما مرة. كان هناك شاب ألماني أشهر وعالي الفضلوان اتخذ قرارا أن يغادر مدينته برلين ويأتي إلى جزيرة واعدة ستكون فيما بعد عاصمة التسامح، ذلكم أبو ظبي في دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة. وبمجرد أن وصلت هذا الشاب وقعت عيناه على تلك الفتاة البدوية السمراء، وكان ذلك حبا من النظرة الأولى. أراد أن يتحدث إليها، أن يقترب منها، فمنعه الجميع وقالوا أن هذا في عرفنا وثقافتنا لا ينبغي. إن أردت منها قربا فعليك أن تذهب إلى أبيها وتطلب يدها بشكل رسمي. ففعل ذلك الشاب وتحدث إلى الرجل مما فاجأه، فأراد أن يصرفه من خلال أن يضع شروطا تعجيزية. فقال له: الشرط الأول أن تشهر الإسلام، فلا ينبغي لك أن تتزوج ابنتنا وأنت لست بمسلم. الشرط الثاني أن تقدم مبلغا من المال يظهر قيمة ابنتنا عندك. الشرط الثالث أن تجهز بيت الزوجية الذي يليق بها. فذهب ذلك الشاب وعاد بعد عدة أسابيع وقد أشهر بالفعل إسلامه وجاء بالمبلغ المطلوب وجهز البيت، فما كان من الأمر إلا أن يبارك هذا الزواج. نتيجة هذا الزواج هو 3 أبناء قبيحين، أنا هو الابن الثاني. وأتمنى أن التصفيق ليس للفوق. دائما وابدا ما اسالهم السؤال التالي: شخص مثلي كيف يتم تصنيفه؟ هل انت عربي ام اوروبي؟ هل انت ابيض ام اسود؟ هل انت مسلم مسيحي؟ كل ذلك غير ذلك. يقول سقراط الحكيم في جزيرته النائية: انا لست باثني ولست باغريقي ولكنني مواطن عالمي. ومفهوم المواطنة العالمية والارتباط بالآخر هو ما يمثل دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة كنموذج حضاري ومختلف، وفي نفس الوقت ما نراه في روح منظمتنا الموقرة من تعبدية وتنوع. والأهم من ذلك أن ديننا الحنيف وثقافتنا حقيقة إنما تعبر عن هذا الجانب بشكل أساسي. والمركز الذي أشرف بإدارته، مركز هداية الدول التميز في مكافحة التطرف العنيف، إنما يتعامل مع قضية أساسية وهي الآتي: هناك من يدعو بشكل مستمر إلى ثقافة الموت، ثقافة التدمير، وما ينبغي علينا هو الرجوع إلى ثقافة الحياة، ثقافة التعلم. وسنقودكم في رحلة موجزة حول عمل مركز هداية، أهم الأفكار التي نتعامل من خلالها والمنهجية العلمية التي نتبناها فيما يتعلق بالأطر التي تتعامل مع مبدأ الوقاية ومن ثم مكافحة التطرف. وكما تفضل صديقي الدكتور أن الوقاية دائما وأبدا هي خير من العلاج. حقيقة أن المنظومة القيمية لمركز هداية من حيث الرؤية ومن حيث المهمة إنما تنصب حول السؤال الجوهري التالي: بغض النظر عن أفكار ذلك المتطرف أو المتطرف، بغض النظر عن آرائهم أو رؤاهم أو توجهاتهم، السؤال المحوري هو: كيف يمكن لهؤلاء تبرير استخدام العنف ضد الأبرياء؟ لماذا ينبغي لفتاة في عمر الزهور أن تدفع حياتها ثمنا لأنك تحمل وجهة نظر معينة؟ وبالتالي كما تعلمنا من علم الجريمة أنه لا يمكن أن يكون هناك مجتمع خال تماما من أشكال الجريمة بالمفهوم. فكذلك لا نرى أن التطرف من حيث المبدأ أنه سينتهي هكذا، أن نقول